of a rush, so I didn't get to go as deep as I wanted to. So I think today we're just going to see how it goes. Tonight, I want to talk about Mercury retrograde. So I'm going to be peeking off to the side here because I want to be able to see the chart and like where the transits are. But I've been doing a lot of short form content on TikTok and here. And as fun as it is to like riff off and be like, oh, this is your rising, this is what's going to be happening to you, I also kind of want to go deeper. And I find that going live is probably the best way to do that because I can just riff or recording a video. But the thing when I'm recording is I don't always get my point across. I don't always finish a thought because it's like, oh my God, 20 minutes is too long. Bam. Versus when I'm live, Mercury retrograde, y'all. Versus when I'm live, I find that I don't think as much. I just kind of flow. So I wanted to go through the Mercury retrograde. Now, the retrograde itself, I know everybody's afraid of Mercury. It's actually a really good planet. It's the planet that rules thinking, communication. It rules short-term travel, the way we think, the way we express ourselves, the foundation of our beliefs. The thing about Mercury and it being retrograde is that it seems to move backwards. So 4 times a year or so, Mercury likes to be that girl. And it basically goes from like facing forward and being direct and thoughtful and practical and focused to like, maybe things are going to take a little bit longer. Maybe things are going to be delayed. You're going to have to revisit the past. We're going to go back and like the past, I would say past people would come back, past situations would come back. Flights and trips might get delayed, things like that, where like the retrograde really means life is going to force you to slow down. Because if we were always go, 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 yes, we can accomplish a lot. But ultimately, if you don't slow down, you don't really check your mistakes. You don't really see your growth. You don't really see where you can improve, right? Now, I want to talk about Mercury retrograde as a concept, but I also want to talk about Pisces because it's retrograding in the sign of Pisces. So Pisces is a sign that is known for being very dreamy, very honestly beyond logic. Pisces bypasses like humanity. Like Pisces literally rules hospitals, the subconscious, dreams, mental health, psychic gifts, you know, the subconscious mind. So it's stuff that it's really hard to like grasp or quantify. It's more felt than it is seen. And they're ruled by Neptune, which is the planet of illusions, is the planet of like not seeing things all the way clear. So Mercury in Pisces is actually in detriment. What that means is a planet that is known for practicality, details, thinking, communication, planning is in a house or in a sign that is literally designed to like dream or like see what they want to see, or like the perception is a little bit skewed. So Mercury is not comfortable in Pisces to begin with. Then factor in is retrograde, is moving backwards, is forcing you to revisit, to look back. There's a certain level of like haziness or cloudiness, or like, I don't really understand. I don't know what's going on. Like, retrograde is going to force you to look back, to revisit things, but in Pisces, it's going to make you see things in a way that you've never seen it before. It's going to be like big picture thinking, or again, you're just going to have a different perception. So I'll be honest, this Mercury retrograde is going to be felt, is going to be pretty intense, mainly because it's a sign that it's not comfortable in. It's a planet that it's already moving in a different direction, but we need it. So I want you to think of Mercury retrograde kind of like we have to go back and fix our mistakes. We have to revisit. We have to think different. We have to have a new perspective. Now I want to go deeper because it's not just Pisces season, meaning the sun is sitting in Pisces. The sun in astrology is illumination. It's identity. It's like the spotlight is on that sign. So all of these Pisces traits that I just mentioned are being amplified. They're being illuminated. You can't run away from like the bigger thinking and the dreamlike nature and the being a little bit here, a little bit disconnected, like spirituality, belief, psychicness. Like it's very deep, right? So the sun is illuminating that, but we also have Venus in Pisces. Venus is the planet of love, which sounds great. Is the planet of love, in finance, in good things. But when you are connecting that to a Mercury retrograde, honey, the past is going to come back, past love, past money things, past things that we've ignored. So the beauty of Venus is that when it's in the sign of Pisces, it's exalted. What that means is that it's really, really comfortable here. Venus is a planet that's all about attraction, meaning love and money and all of the good things, right? But attraction also looks like it's a felt energy. It's not something that is tangible. So again, Mercury, very practical and nocturnal, like trying to figure things out. Venus kind of softens it into more of like a, wow, this feels really good, and wanting to be in your body and like enjoying it. So even though Mercury retrograde in Pisces is not great, Venus being here is going to make it feel good. You're not going to fight the slowdown. You're actually going to enjoy when things get delayed, when things are not flowing the way that they should. Like, you're going to surrender logic, and you're gonna kind of tap into like a place of acceptance and surrender. That's where Pisces is beyond normal. Like, it's not a very practical sign. The point is, with Venus and the Sun in Pisces, is bringing an edge of like, we're not really going to fight it. Now, if you are fighting the slowdown, I'm going to tell you in which house is going to hit you so you can be prepared. But I encourage you to just let it go, because the North Node is also in Pisces. Now, the nodes are going to be moving signs, which happens like every 2.5 years this summer around July. So right now, the North Node is in Pisces. And again, we just talked about Pisces is greater than life. It's about humanity and like wanting everybody to be happy. On the South Node is Virgo, which we're having a full moon in Virgo happening on March 3rd. So literally in a few days. But y'all, we are meant to embrace all of this stuff that's coming up with this Mercury retrograde. This retrograde is going to last, I believe, from the 26th all the way to March 20th. Don't quote me on the days. I believe it's the 20th. But essentially what it means is we have a month of, we just need to take it easy. We just need to revisit the past. The past is going to come back and knock on our doors. Things are going to come up, and we have to be willing to take the time to sit with it. Now, if you embrace it, Venus, the Sun, and the North Node is going to help you tap into a softness where, again, you're going to get a different perspective. You're going to see things differently. It's going to kind of force you to like shed, but it's not going to feel as painful as like last year felt. I'll be honest, this week has been rough. I know, because we literally just had that Mars-Uranus conjunction that peaked today. It's kicking my ass, let's be honest. But again, this Mercury retrograde is not a painful thing. It's actually a really beautiful, transformative, soft. It's an amazing transit. I'm just going to say that, because the North Node, the Sun and Venus being in Pisces, really makes this softer. Now, Mercury doesn't love Pisces, but we need this reality check, okay? Oh, I can actually see comments today. Hey guys. Oh, I love this. Okay, awesome. So let's get into like, obviously we discussed all the planets in Pisces. Now we have to understand for every person, where is this affecting you? So if you have your chart, if you've ever looked at it, right? Let's say you're a Pisces sun. You're like, oh my God, this resonates. My birthday's coming up, right? Or maybe you're a Pisces rising and you've heard that and you're like, oh, I have some of these traits. But what does it mean when Mercury is retrograding in Pisces? Whatever your chart is, it's usually a little circle, right? You have a house in every single sign. So if you're a Pisces rising, your first house is Pisces, right? If you're an Aries rising, your 12th house is Pisces. So when we say there's a transit of something retrograding, oh, I love that. Yay, girl. So basically, when you pull your chart and you're seeing your rising, that's kind of where you get to gauge, where is Pisces for me? So when I am describing how this transit is going to feel, I want you to look at your chart and understand that even though you might be a Gemini rising, you still have Pisces in your chart. There is an area of your life where you're feeling this energy, or you're more likely to feel this energy. Another thing I hear a lot is people saying, oh my God, it's in my 3rd and 4th house. That can also be the case. So I'm a 27-degree rising. And also, guys, I'm doing astrology classes for beginners. So if some of this terminology is going over your head, I'm going to drop the link in the bio for later for those interested. Those are happening on Sunday, and they're actually really awesome because we're doing it like from the ground up. And I think people need that foundation. Anyways, the point is, when I say Pisces, I'm talking about an area of your life, right? So depending on your rising, that determines where it is. So I'm going to go through all 12. I actually have a little chart here to kind of keep me on track. But again, we're going to go back. The past is going to come back. Things are going to come up. Plans are going to get delayed. Some things are not going to go according to plan. I will say retrogrades tend to bring a lot of like travel delays, technology glitches, emails not going out, you wanting to send a text 5 times and you just can't get it out, miscommunication. Why? Because Mercury rules communication. Anything that's like communicating or written or verbal, there may be blocks there. And I can speak from that because I literally slept 2 hours last night. I'm struggling to get some of my words out. So I've had to slow down. Another thing that lives here is overthinking in the mind and being like boom, 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 boom. Because our instinct, Mercury rules Virgo, which is where the South Node is to fixate, to overthink, to try to figure it out. Remember, the North Node is in Pisces. We're not meant to figure it out. We're meant to transcend it. We're meant to just kind of zoom out and see it from the top and be like, what is this trying to show me? Why is the past coming back? Why is this not working? And whatever's coming up for you, that is what we need to work on, okay? Again, I can go deeper, so drop your questions for me if it helps. But let's start with Aries rising. Aries is the baby of the zodiac. We know that. We love them. My brother is in Aries. But basically for Aries, this is going to happen in your 12th house. Now, the 12th house in astrology has to do with your inner world. It's like your subconscious mind. It's the deepest part of you. This is where your dreams are. This is where your, again, mental health would live, anxiety would live, trauma would live. And I know it sounds bad and ugly, but it is not. Remember what this transit is doing, right? It's going to bring back things that are going to come up that we need to revisit. But with Venus, the sun, and the North Node, we're going to have a higher perspective. Now, the 12th house is also the Pisces house. So even though as an Aries rising, you're like, oh my God, like this is Pisces house, this is home. So it's going to feel really, you're going to feel comfortable allowing yourself to let go, allowing these things to come up and witnessing them with a different perspective. So what this could look like is like an epiphany, a quiet realization. Maybe a memory comes back and you see something that happened in your past or childhood or trauma, and you see it in a different light, right? You have a little bit more kindness. So think about like undertone healing, like backhand healing, like subconscious healing without having to like cry about it. Because again, mental health also lives here. So it might trigger like some dreams. Dreams, again, for anybody that has big 12th house placements, which I do, you might dream a lot, or you might have really intense sleep type stuff, like sleep paralysis, or like, again, I don't want to get too deep for people who are beginners, but the 12th house tends to bring like phobias and fears and dreams and things that we're like avoiding. Or maybe you're just so busy in your day-to-day life, the only time when you slow down is when you're alone. This is what lives in the 12th house, right? So for you, it's going to look like healing, private conversations, things from the past coming up, like, oh, I thought I was done with this thing, and like that behavior keeps coming back. Again, life is just going to force you to revisit, to sit with it, to see it in a different light, so that you can choose what it looks like going forward. Now, if you embrace this transit, it could look like, hey, maybe I have suppressed something I wanted to say for a long time, and now I'm realizing, for whatever reason, whether it's an epiphany, sorry, I got a phone call. You start to realize like, oh my goodness, this is something that I need to speak up. This is something that matters to me. And then that shift from suppressing to like facing, right? So moving on to Taurus rising, my love. If you are a Taurus rising, then your Pisces house will be in your 11th house. So the 11th house is the house of like friends, but I'm talking like network, like greater than just your close friends. I'm talking like where you work, your clients, the people that you attract, the people that are at large, right? This is your hopes and dreams. This is social media. This is the house of like networking is what I would call it, right? So anybody that has Pisces in this house, you naturally attract a lot of like spiritual people, or you're drawn to like, again, groups that are all about humanity and supporting the world. You just have that knack for yourself. But if you're having this transit here, what is going to bring up for you is things around friendships. It's going to be maybe collaborations changing, rethinking your audience. If you have a business, maybe how you show up in social media will change. But it's basically going to bring awareness to like what's not working. And a lot of people, because again, this is a house of friends, might come back and you might be like, oh, I thought I was done with this friendship, or who is this person and why do they keep coming up? I want you to take this next month to kind of notice who is coming back into your life. What are they showing you? Do you feel a desire to change your branding, how you market, how you talk to your community, how you show up, like the people that you connect with? Maybe that's what's evolving. You're just going to have a different perception of like, I've outgrown this group and I want something better. So again, the retrograde is going to bring up things so that you can look at them in a different light, and it forces you to slow down. So for you, my love, as a Taurus rising, it's all about checking your network, checking your connections. Are these friendships moving me forward? Are they aligning me with my hopes and dreams? Am I heading in the direction that I need to go in? Again, the North Node, that's where we're going. Venus and the sun is illuminating in a loving way what needs to change, what needs to shed, what needs to go, and also what do we need to embrace, right? So for my Gemini risings, this transit is going to happen in your 10th house. This is the house of like your career, what you're known for. It's almost like an outer house. It's literally how people see you. It's your legacy, right? What you're known for. So for a Gemini rising, this is going to be revisiting maybe what you do for work, or like your messaging, how you talk about it. It could be bringing back things in your career. Yeah, I already covered the 12th house, my love. Yeah, I'm gonna leave the video here so y'all can come back and watch, and I'm gonna do all 12 signs. But drop your questions, and if there's anything, I'll just make a video and go deeper after. But for my Gemini risings, we're talking about work, right? So Mercury retrograde tends to bring a little bit of like miscommunication in this area of career. You might have a conflict at work. You might have a conversation that doesn't go well, or feeling misunderstood, or maybe not understanding what your boss is saying. Something around career is going to come up that's going to trigger feelings of like, is this working? Am I happy? Is this where I want to go? Does this feel good? So it could be with bosses, with clients, with branding, the direction of your business, the direction of your career. You might need to just rethink, where am I headed? So again, we have a month of this. Notice what's coming up. What are the issues at work? What are the issues in how you present yourself in your career? Like, do you feel called to shift where you're headed, to change your path? This is what Mercury retrograde is going to bring up for you, Gemini rising. So don't be afraid to ask the tough questions, because if you're in the wrong career, again, the North Node is aligning you with, like, as a collective, we're meant to move. Embrace a little bit more of that Pisces energy, because it doesn't really make sense. Pisces, to me, they're like the artist, they're the dreamer, they're the poet, they're the, we go bigger than life. It doesn't have to make sense. It just feels good, right? So in your career, it has to feel good. So if Mercury retrograde is bringing up things that are not in alignment, that do not feel good, this would be the time for you to revisit, okay, what would I like to do? What would feel good? So the next one here will be my Cancer risings. And for you, my love, this transit is going to be in the 9th house. So the 9th house is the house of like higher learning, philosophy, teaching, publishing, travel, but like long distance. I'm not talking like to the next state. I'm talking like to Europe. Again, I'm in America, but like a long distance travel, right? So what this could look like for you is, again, Mercury retrograde does bring conflict with travel. So if you have travel planned for the next month, it's not, oh, it's going to get canceled, it's not going to go well. That's not what I'm saying. I don't believe in fear mongering. What I would say is give yourself a little bit of extra time. Prepare, have a backup plan. Be okay, like if a flight gets delayed or canceled, to just reschedule it. You know, if you're meant to go somewhere, it will align. And if it's not, it's going to continuously come up for you to be like, wait a minute, why am I trying to force this, right? So it could be a situation around travel. It could be a situation around like your education. Maybe you want to shift paths and learn something new. Maybe you meet a new mentor, or you attract somebody, because again, it brings up the past. A mentor comes back into your life, a new thing that you used to love. Like maybe you were learning astrology or something, and you're like, man, I haven't picked this up in a long time. And you notice that it resurfaces and it starts coming back up for you. That's kind of what that looks like. I could go deeper into that, but your belief system is going to be shifting, because again, this entire transit is going to bring it back up so you can see it from a higher perspective. And this is the house of higher learning. Your beliefs are going to change as a result of this transit. So pay attention. What are your thoughts? Where are my beliefs? What is landing? What feels good? What do I enjoy learning about? Who is someone that I look up to? Who are my mentors? Like, where am I going? And if there's travel, give yourself some grace. It might not go perfect for the next month, but this isn't about fear. I say be informed, not afraid, right? If you are Leo rising, like me, it's a toughie because it's hitting our 8th house. So Pisces 8th house. 8th house is that, let me slow down, giving Mercury right there. But Pisces 8th house, well, let me just break it down. 8th house in general is the house of Scorpio. It's like sex, death, money, taxes, debt, transformation, the taboo. So it brings a lot of like deep, dark healing, right? So when we're revisiting things in this house, we're talking phobias, we're talking trauma, we're talking debt, maybe something that we thought we had taken care of and money comes back, or a surprise in your taxes, or money in relation to someone else. Like, this is giving the energy of like trust, attachments, especially old attachments of people, because this is a house where intimacy lives as well. Like, who are we allowing in our space? Who are we allowing in our energy? It could be, again, higher perspective on trauma, on something that happened when we were younger. And allowing, again, it's a beautiful transit to me, because I think Mercury, even though it's retrograde, it brings a little bit of clarity. Even though it's in Pisces and it's a little fuzzy, it brings a little bit of clarity, but it's a soft clarity. Venus is soft and loving. The sun is illuminating. The North Node is showing us like, embrace these traits. So when it comes to dark stuff like trauma, sex, death, money, it's a beautiful transit to like slow down and feel it and just release it and move past it and let it go and be okay with releasing it. So for me, as a Leo rising, I'll say it's a toughie because I'm feeling it, but it's healing and it's beautiful. And like whatever you're purging, it's like a soft way to purge. It doesn't feel like shock. It feels like, oh no, I'm willingly taking the time to slow down, to sleep, to rest, to cry, because this is what I need. Now, if you are a Virgo rising, my love, this transit is happening in your 7th house, and this is the house of relationships. We're talking close partnerships like your husband, business partner, close friends like your best friend, not at large, but like up close. Who are the people in your circle that like are your ride or die? Who are the people that like you have a deep, deep bond with, right? So this house for me, when I think of North Node, Venus, Mercury retrograding, and the Sun all happening at once, first of all, it's going to bring people back. And we're talking the house of close relationships. So maybe an ex resurfacing. This might be the one that's like texting you out of the blue, or a phone call, I miss you. Like you might get some of those messages, right? Now, I will offer this. You can always just block and delete and ignore. But if life is bringing someone back, is not for you to take them back, is to show you something about yourself. Maybe the realization is, man, I've outgrown this person. Or maybe it's, wow, they're coming back and I thought I lost them forever. Or wow, what part of me is attracting this again? Like I thought I was done with this behavior. So just notice who's coming back, right? Especially like business partners, people that you used to date. That could be a theme here. Another thing that I could see is renegotiating agreements, because again, business partners or partnership, like getting married, maybe divorce, maybe not. Maybe it could be just renegotiating terms of like, hey, we agreed to do a partnership and I don't feel like you're pulling your weight. So for the next month, notice what patterns are coming up in your relationships that you need to let go of, and how can you have a higher perspective for like what is life trying to show you with the people closest to you. The next one would be a Libra rising. And for you, my love, is going to be hitting your 6th house. This is the house of like your day-to-day, your routine, your vocation. So like what you do for work every day, like Monday through Friday kind of thing. So not what you're known for or your purpose or your legacy, more so like the grind, right? Like your health, your routine, your day-to-day. I wake up every morning and this is what I do, right? So for you, this could look like burnout. It could look like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I'm doing so much. Let me slow down and revisit. Or is my routine actually working for me? Or do I just look busy and I think that it's working, but like I'm tired? It could look like your body saying, hey, I'm not happy. And I'll give you the example of me. A month ago, I had gallbladder surgery and my body just decided I had enough. Like, take a break. We got to go get fixed. And for 2 months, that's what happened. So it might slow you down, like adrenals or stress or burnout or shifting your routine or finding a better way to do something that you thought was working. So again, slowing down, revisiting, things resurfacing. Maybe it's just introducing things you stopped doing that were good for you, letting go of some patterns that might not be so good, that kind of thing. Now, Scorpio rising, this is going to be hitting your 5th house, which is the house of like, to me is a fun house, is the Leo house, right? But it's like creativity, self-expression, inner child, children, dating, and also like dating, sensuality type of thing, like your flirt type energy. So this is more, will definitely bring exes, will definitely bring people back that you dated of like, hey, you up? Hey, I miss you. So be aware of that because it's a house of dating, right? It's about people. It's going to bring things back and bring things up. So also feelings of like who you were dating, what was in alignment versus not. Creativity. I will say if you have this house in Pisces, which duh, you do, you are a very creative person. You get lost in your art. It's probably a really beautiful experience when you're able to like disconnect from your logical mind and tap into like your creativity. So slowing down with Venus, the Sun, and the North Node here, it's a beautiful time to create. It's a beautiful time to immerse yourself in your art. It's a beautiful time to maybe write, to just allow yourself to go really deep and see like what happens. Also rewriting the narrative on like fun. What is fun for me now? What were some fun things that I used to do that I maybe stopped and I need to bring back? Like what would make me happy today? Romance. Maybe again, what does romance mean now? Like what would be fun? So slowing down, mind you, Venus being here is giving magnetism, attraction. You might actually meet a partner, but you could also attract past partners. So you get to kind of redefine, what does this look like? What do I want it to look like? So that's kind of what that transit is bringing for you. Now, if you are a Sagittarius rising, it's going to be hitting your fourth house. And your fourth house is the house of like your roots, where you come from, your mom, your home, like the four walls where you get to be yourself, right? So what this could look like is maybe your living situation will shift. Maybe something about you has to slow down to kind of notice, like, am I happy here? This is different. Do I still like my home? Maybe redecorating, maybe tapping into your creativity that way. It could also look like deep conversations with family, redefining, again, home, like your roots, where you come from, your beliefs, where I live, like where are the places I can be myself, is going to force you to slow down and like reassess. Is it working? Is it not? Am I happy? Am I not? Maybe paint, maybe moving, but whatever it is, you're going to pay attention to your home, which is what's needed. And also your home can be your body. So it could also be like your mind and being kinder to yourself and like slowing down and coming home to yourself. So maybe something like breath work or something like that. Again, this is not predictive. It's giving you an idea of what you can expect. The transit itself, we're all going to feel it. It's just what part of your life will you be feeling it on and what is likely to happen. Okay. The next one would be Capricorn rising. So if you're a Capricorn rising, Mercury retrograde is going to be hitting your third house. And the third house is the house of like communication, siblings, your thought process, and not like the higher mind, but like the surface level, like what I love to learn, the way that I think, focusing on like little things. There's also siblings and neighbors and short travels. So Mercury retrograde, travel usually tends to be affected. Expect delays, things not to go according to plan. Again, not fear mongering, just like give yourself more time. Be okay with things not going perfectly or getting rescheduled. Maybe it could bring up conflicts or things from the past around like you and your siblings, or around you and a neighbor or someone close to you in your vicinity. Another thing that could come here, it's the house of communication, maybe text messages getting misunderstood, conversations not landing the way that you were hoping, or like you think you're saying one thing, but people are hearing something different. Because the retrograde kind of brings a little bit of that, like, oh, it's not quite right. But again, with Venus, the sun, and the North Node, it's meant to help you embrace your voice and find like, what is it that I want to say? Like kind of embrace a little bit more of that like Hakuna Matata that Pisces kind of brings, where like it's not that deep. Another beautiful thing that I like here with Venus, the sun, the North Node, and all of it in Pisces, you should write. You should definitely write poetry, a book, whatever it is that you feel inspired to do, because you might create magic by being forced to slow down and sit with your thoughts. It's just a really creative sign. I would lean in. Aquarius rising, my love, for you, this transit is going to be happening in what? Slowing down. This transit is going to be happening in your second house. And the second house is the house of like money, material, tangible things. So like my money, and also values, self-worth. So what this could look like for you is revisiting your spending habits. Maybe something around your budget, maybe overspending or being like, well, what happened to my money? Where is it going? So it forces you to like slow down, reassess, have a higher perspective, and decide, you know, I could do this better. And I will say Pisces second house is tough because it's not that deep for Pisces, but like money should be. So Mercury retrograde slows you down enough to like remember, hey, I have to be an adult and I have to think about money and I have to plan around it. So I would encourage you to use this transit to budget and to really be honest with yourself and your finances. Another thing that can come up here is values and self-worth. So like reclaiming your worth, or maybe something around like how you're feeling about yourself. Life is going to keep bringing up situations and things from the past to kind of force you to confront your self-worth and your value. So it's a really good time to do inner work around like, how do I see myself? Like, what is my value? What is my worth, right? And if you don't know where to start, I definitely have videos on that, or I can make some. And lastly, my Pisces rising, ruled by Pisces. So this is your first house. This is your identity. This is what you look like. This is how you come across. This is literally the embodiment of you. So Mercury retrograde is going to force you back. And mind you, right now, the sun is in your house, first house. So like your identity, who you are as a whole, is illuminated. Venus is in your house. You're magnetic AF right now. The North Node is here. So everything that's been happening the last 2 years has forced you to like shift your identity and grow as a person and confront who you are and like what you want and don't want. Mercury retrograde, all it's doing is slowing you down to take one final look because the next eclipse that's happening on the 3rd, it's a full moon eclipse in Virgo, which is opposing Pisces, right? Is going to bring up the last little bit of what you have to release in relationships to really tap into your full identity. And then we're shifting to Leo and Aquarius after that. So this is one last slowdown, one last look at like, do I like who I am? Am I grateful with the changes I have made? Or are there areas that I could still grow or shift and embrace? So that's kind of what it's going to feel like. Now, I know I said a lot, so whatever you're rising, whoever you are, definitely watch it back. Go back to the part that it's about your rising, but also go back to the beginning where I'm explaining what it means. What are these planets? What is this transit? Because we're going to be experiencing this for the next month up until March 20th, I believe is the day. And after that, there's like a shadow period of about a week. So really all of March. Tomorrow is the 28th, and then we literally have a whole month of March that life is going to slow you down. So do it consciously. I believe astrology to be informative, so do it consciously. If you know there's going to be awareness around relationships, start paying attention. If you know something around work is going to come up, notice it. What is it trying to tell me? Like, what would make me happy? But again, I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. I'm just trying to give you tools of like how to assess where you're at, how it can get better, and how to work with these transits so they don't feel like punishment, because they're not. You can sit here and be like, oh my God, it's because I'm a Scorpio. Oh my God, Mercury retrograde. Babe, it's you. It's you. It's the choices that you're making. Is the places where you're shrinking. Is the places where you're not showing up. And I love you enough to tell you the truth. So now if you are interested in learning about astrology and the signs and the transits and what does it all mean, I started some beginner classes. I'm going to be posting the link in the bio, but we started last week with all the basics, like what are these words, chart, stellium, planet, what do they mean? This week on Sunday, we're going to be going through all of the signs, all 12 of them. What are they? What do they mean? How do they show up? What are the traits? What are the quality? What's a rising? Why does it matter? And then after that, we're building to the houses. Then we're building to the planets. Then we're building to the aspects. And finally, we're going to be bringing it all together. So it is a 6-week course. And whenever, oh my God, words, whenever you sign up, you are going to get access to all of the recordings. So if you join between now and Sunday, you will get access to the first replay, and then you can come live to the second class. But if you're catching this video in the future, hello from the past, you can always join and you will get all 6 recordings or however many have been created up until that point. The goal is to eventually make it a beginner course that anybody can purchase when they find the content, because this information, whenever you find it, it is valuable. Astrology is just literally observational science that we've been doing for years. And if you start to pay attention to the trend, you're going to realize it's all a pattern, and we might not be able to control it, but we can work with it. Literally, billionaires use astrologers. I know you've heard that quote. But anyways, I'm going to hop off. I love you guys. Happy Friday. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see you next time. Bye.